Good journalism is hard to come by these days, which is why it's surprising and even refreshing to come across an article that is objective, like the one that was published Sunday in The Atlantic. The headline of the article is "The Liberal Misinformation Bubble About Youth Gender Medicine," and the subhead is "How the Left Ended Up Disbelieving the Science." It's written by Helen Lewis, someone who believes that trans women are women and trans men are men. And she regularly used to write that gender transitioning was life-saving until she saw how limited the evidence was for that claim. I mean, it's just like they're just parroting these things that have been out there. Well, now she's delivering a wake-up call to her fellow liberals who are stuck in this misinformation age like she was. Joining me to discuss this, Dr. Michelle Cretella, who is the former executive director of the American College of Pediatricians and the current chair of its Adolescent Sexuality Committee. Dr. Cretella, welcome back to Washington Watch. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
You were one of the early ones that was out warning about this. I mean, then, it became first, parents began to see this, then state legislatures, then the courts. And now even the media is beginning to admit the truth about the junk science behind the transgender movement. This has to be encouraging to see that the light is breaking through the darkness.
It absolutely is. It's very encouraging because back in 2016, if any of us who stood up and said, look, the package insert for puberty blockers, Lupron, says right there, beware of this causing new onset psychiatric disorders, causing labile emotions. It is not a medication you want to give to children who are already depressed and anxious and suicidal. Moreover, those of us who came out calling the truth from the beginning, we knew this medication is used in many states to sterilize sex offenders. So you did not have to go digging very deep to recognize that it was a threat to children's fertility from the beginning.
When you talk about those who were willing to step up and speak out about this, there was a price to pay for that. I mean, that was at the height of the cancel culture. I mean, you had, the junkyard dogs of the left, Southern Poverty Law Center and others that would begin to attack anyone who would question this junk science.
Correct. Absolutely correct. You were automatically, as I was, labeled, the leader of the skinheads of pediatricians. Yeah, that Nazi allegation comes out, and any kind of mudslinging they can do. And it was, you ask why, I would say it's because of profits, high profitability, and ideology. But there were many, many physicians, not just pediatricians, surgeons, psychiatrists, psychologists, who would call the American College of Pediatricians, call me as the executive director and saying, thank you for speaking out. We can't do it. Why? It was career ending. And then with the cancel culture on social media, you were a social pariah. So it was harrowing, but courage is courageous.
Right.
Courage is contagious.
It's contagious. Yes, it spreads. So there's a lesson here. I mean, it's interesting that Lewis wrote in her piece, she said, I regularly used to write that medical transition was life-saving before I saw how limited the evidence was on suicide. This was just kind of this rote claim that the left made that, well, either you let your child transition or they're going to commit suicide. I mean, that's malpractice.
Absolutely. And that's why, parents are still to this day being emotionally blackmailed by that lie. It's horrifying and it's horrible. And you're right. It's malpractice on multiple levels.
We just have about a minute left, Dr. Cretella. What are the lessons here that we have learned through this process?
There are several lessons. I think number one, even the experts are only human, right? We can all fall under the temptation of going after the next shiny thing, going after profits, fame, etc. So it is very important to question the experts. Number two, truth often is common sense, faith, and science on the same page. I think that's an important lesson. The secular world wants us to believe that traditional faith morals are opposed to what
Right.
science reveals, and that is not true.
And therefore they're invalidated and they can't
Correct.
be brought
Right.
to the argument.
Right. No, no. They are more often than not on the same page.
Yeah.
And, number three, courage is contagious.
It
We
is.
have to speak. We have to speak for the most vulnerable.
And I
about
appreciate, we're up against a break, but I appreciate you, Dr. Cretella, for that courage that you've had.